Hello guys, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss labor cost variances. This labor cost variance is the same like material cost variance. Okay, so listen carefully this class. This is me RABEEH OVUNGAL. Welcome back to EduCafia. Working also, not only in material, in the labors working also there may be a variance. Like we have calculated for labor cost this much, that is standard, and actually happened a different one. So there will be a variances. Why these variances? It is because of mainly two things. One is their rate. In standard they have taken one rate and actually the rate is different. Otherwise efficiency, that time they have used, that hours they have used, that may be different from the standard. If their mix means if there are multiple labors are there and the total mix of that labors, if the difference is there, then there will be a difference. And yield, the total hours to use, if there is a difference in the total hours to use, then there will be a difference. So there are four reasons for this labor cost variances. So if we get a labor rate variance plus, and if we know labor efficiency variance, then that will be equal to labor cost variance. If we know labor mix variance plus labor yield variance, that is equal to labor efficiency variance. Okay, so first one, labor cost variance. What is labor cost variance? We have estimated some cost for the labor and actually something happened and there is a difference between them, that is labor cost variance. And in material cost variance we have studied here standard quantity into standard price minus actual quantity into actual price. Here there is no quantity, there is no price. Instead of that, instead of quantity we are taking hours. Instead of price, we are taking rate. So that is the only difference between labor cost variance and material cost variance. So if you already know what is material cost variance, then labor cost variance is over. So what is the difference here? Instead of standard quantity, we are taking standard hour into, instead of standard price, it is standard rate. Then actual quantity becoming actual hour, actual price becoming actual rate. That is the only difference. So here what is standard hour? What was standard quantity? That was budgeted input by budgeted output into actual output. Here standard hour is equal to what is budgeted hours by budgeted output by into actual output. Let's do an example, then you will understand more. We have budgeted hours 20 hours. For what? 10 cakes. For the preparation of 10 cakes required 20 hours. Then for one cake how much? 20 hours divided by 10 cakes, that is equal to 2 hours per cake. So for the production of one cake 2 hours standardly required. This is what standard hours for one cake. Okay, actually what happened? 25 cakes produced, 16 hours they actually used. But standard how much they have to use? Per hour, per cake 2 hours, right? So 25 cakes how much? 25 cakes into 2 hours, that is equal to 15 hours. So standardly they have to use 15 hours, but actually what happened? 16 hours, right? So next, budgeted rate per hour $10, actual rate $8. Why the differences? See, budgeted rate $10, that is skilled person. Here they choose the semi-skilled, so they only paid $8. But instead of 15 hours, they have taken 16 hours to complete that work. So what is the equation? LCV is equal to SH into SR minus AH into AR. What is the standard hour? Standard hour already we calculated 15 hours because 20 hours they used for 10 cakes. So 2 hours for one cake into actually how much they produced? 25. So 15 hours. Standardly they have to. So standard hours 15. What is the standard rate? $10. That is 500 minus actually what happened? Actual hours 16. How much? $8. So 16 into $8, that is 480. So 20 favorable. So in labor cost variance, when checking labor cost variance, that is favorable only because 20 favorable, $20 favorable. You got it. Next. So that's why the equation SH into SR minus AH into AR. Next one, labor rate variance. That we know LCV, labor cost variance, is divided to labor rate variance and labor efficiency variance. So what is labor rate variance? What was material rate variance? That is a standard price minus actual price into actual quantity. Here there is no quantity, there is no price. Instead of P rate Q hour. So standard rate minus actual rate into actual hour. The same equation, only one difference is that rate, price becomes rate, quantity becomes hours. That's all. So SR minus AR into AH actual hours. That's all. So what are the reasons for the labor rate variances? Because of a skill of labors. If they need skilled labor, they have to spend more. Actual rate, they have to spend more. Okay, so overtime work. Why? When this actual hour increases, actual hour when increases, when overtime work increases. Poor estimation or incorrect standard. The standard rate is the right. When our estimation is poor, also this will happen. We are estimated 10. Actually, it's going to happen only 8. But because of our pure estimation, it found 10. Got it? So, question. The same question, 20 hours budgeted hours, 10 cake, 25 cakes. They made 16 hours. That was that standard hour, that was 15 hours, right? That we already found in previous question. So, SR minus AR. What is the standard rate? 10. What is actual rate? 8. What is the actual hour? 16. So 120 favorable. So in the terms of rate variance also, it is favorable. 120 favorable. Next, labor efficiency variance. Efficiency means here we are calculating like material quantity variance. What was the equation of material quantity variance? That is standard quantity minus actual quantity into standard price. You remember, right? So instead of standard quantity, standard hour, minus instead of actual quantity, actual hour, instead of standard price, standard rate. So labor efficiency variance is equal to standard hour minus actual hour into standard rate. So what are the reasons? Here standard hour is there, estimation, poor estimation reason is there, and skill of labor is there, and tool and machinery. When tool and machinery is not sharp, they will take more time. Definitely they will take more time. That's why actual hour. Then supervision skill. If supervisor is not good, means why supervisor is there? Because maybe laborers will take breaks, unwanted breaks, not breaks, unwanted breaks. Maybe they will sit in their seat by looking to the mobile. That's why one supervisor is there. Supervisor has to supervise that site whether the laborers are working properly or not. If supervisor itself is not working well, means that's why supervision skill. Next, training given to the employees. If proper training is given to the employees, we can reduce the actual hour. If training is not given, actual hours will increase. Next, quality of material. If low quality material is given, laborers have to work more on that material. Otherwise, material may get damaged. So that work taken on that low quality material means that hour is gone, right? That time is gone. So have to give a standard material, have to give a standard tools and machinery, have to give a skilled laborers, and have to give a good supervisor. You got it? So the question for that LEV is equal to SH minus AH into SR. What is the standard hour? 15 hours, that we already calculated. What is our actual hours? 16 hours. So 15 minus 16, that is minus 10 into what is the total rate? 10. I mean standard rate 10. So 10 into 10, 100 unfavorable. If it is negative, unfavorable. If it is positive, favorable. You got it? So you may be having a doubt. Why negative becoming unfavorable, positive becoming favorable? See, here is a simple logic. Standard hours said 15. You have to work only up to 15 hours. But you have worked 16 hours. If you are working more means it increasing cost to the company, right? So here you are working more. So unfavorable. That's all. You are working more, unfavorable, because the company's cost is increasing. Simple logic. You got it? So we said that LCV is equal to rate variance plus efficiency variance. So in the question itself we found that rate variance is equal to 120 favorable and efficiency variable is equal to 100 unfavorable. So 120 favorable plus 100 unfavorable is equal to 20 favorable. That's we already found that LCV is equal to 20 favorable. You got it? Then we know LEV, that efficiency variable is divided to two, mix and yield. So efficiency variable we have divided to mix variable and yield variable. So what is mix variable? Mix variable we already discussed there. Again I am explaining. For example, we are making this product. If you are producing this product, there are two processes like molding and painting. Two processes like molding and painting. For molding you can take 10 minutes. For painting you can take 2 minutes. If it is one product, 10 minutes, 2 minutes. If it is two products, 20 minutes, 4 minutes. If it is three products, 30 minutes, 6 minutes. Like that it will increase. If you are producing 10 products, if you are producing 2 products, then it should be 20 minutes and 4 minutes. But instead of that, you took 20 minutes for molding, but for painting I am taking 6 minutes. For painting I am taking 6 minutes means that is 20:6. That is not equal to 20:4. So here there is a mixed difference is there. So here mixed variance is also there. So how to calculate in that material mixed variance? What was the equation? RSQ minus AQ into SP. RSQ, revised standard quantity, minus actual quantity into standard price. Instead of quantity we will take hour. Instead of quantity we will take hour. Instead of price we will take rate. That is the only difference. So RSH minus AH into SR, same equation. Second equation, what was that? Weighted average standard price of standard mix minus weighted average standard price of actual mix into actual quantity. This was the equation in material mix variance. Here we can't take standard price, that is standard rate. Here standard price becomes standard rate, actual quantity become actual hour. Then weighted average standard rate of standard mix minus weighted average standard rate of actual mix, here also same, into actual hour, actual quantity becoming actual hour. So the equation also, there is no difference in that. So what is RSQ? RSQ is equal to total actual hour. It is RSH here. So RSH is equal to total actual hours into standard proportion. That's already we done in the material, right? So for example, standard hours and the cost for 10 outputs is given below. For 10 outputs it's given below. Okay, 2 labors are there for making this. So first one required 300 hours. Second one required 200 hours. That's for 10 outputs. For making this 10 items required 300 hours of first labor and 200 hours of second labor. You just consider this as molding and this as painting, or painter and molder. Okay, so $2 is given per hour for this first grade worker, and $3 per hour is given to second grade worker. So this is for 10 outputs. Then for one output, how much? Simple. 300 is for 10 outputs, means 300 divided by 10, that is equal to 13 hour. Here 200 divided by 10, that is 20 hour. 20 hour, 13 hour is required for one output. During the period, 100 units were produced. Actually 100 units they produced. So for 100 units, 3200 hours for first grade. For second grade, 1900 is used. Actually what happened? This is actually what happened. So let's check here. For 1 unit, how much? 3200 divided by 100, that is equal to 32 hours. Here 1900 divided by 100, that is equal to 19 hours. Wow, see, instead of 13 hours he took 32 hours. Instead of 20 hours he only took 19 hours. Mixed difference is there. Correct. So let's find an equation. What is the equation? LMV is equal to RSH minus AH into SR. What is RSH? What is the total they used here? Let me erase that. Okay, just a second. Let me take the pen. Yeah, okay. What is RSH? What is the total hours used? 3200 plus 1900, that is equal to 5100. So in this 5100, here 3:2, that is equal to here 16%, here 40%. 16% for first grade, 40% work by second grade. So here you can see this, in this 5100 for RSH1 first grade person, he should work like 3 by 5. Here total 5 members are there. In this 3 by 5 work, that means 3016 hours should come for first labor, should come, but actually came 3200. For second person 5500. This guy is 2 by 5, right? This 2 by 5, that means 2014 should come, but actually came 1900. That is the reason for the difference, right? So LMV. What is the first one? This is the first one, and this is the second one. First labor, for second labor. Okay, so first labor RSH is the 3060 RSH minus AH actual hour 3200. What is the standard rate? $2. That is equal to minus $280 unfavorable. Next RSH 2014 minus actual hours 1900 into standard rate $3, that is 420. In the case of second labor, he is a favorable only, right? This is unfavorable. So total, when I am adding this to $140 favorable. So when checking efficiency in mixed variance, that is 140 favorable. We are going to do the same question with the second equation, weighted average. So here we need to know weighted average standard price of standard mix. So not standard price, we have to take standard rate. So weighted average standard rate of standard mix, that budgeted hours into standard rate. What is the budgeted hour? 300, 200. What is the rate? $2, $3. So 300 into 2, 600. 200 into 3, 600. So I am adding this, that is 1200. When I am adding this total hours, that is 500. So I need weighted average, right? So 1200 divided by 500. So I understood the weighted average rate, that this is the alone rate. I need to know the weighted average rate, that is 2.4. If I am using these labors with this hours with this price, my weighted average price is 2.4. Then that is this. I want to know weighted average price of actual mix. Actually, this is happened, right? So this is the standard price, right? Here you can see standard price is, this is the standard price. Actual mix is, this is actual hours. So with that, actual hours into standard rate, 3200 into 1900 into their standard rate, I got it 6400, 5700. If I add this, I will get the total one, 12,100. Total how many hours? 5,100. I need a weighted average, right? So weighted average means 12,100 is divided with 5,100, that is equal to 2.372. Then what is the difference between them? 2.4 minus 2.372 into what is the actual hours? This is not material mix variance, this is labor mix variance, okay? What is the actual hours? What is the actual hours? See, $3,200 plus 1,900, 5,100, right? So here it is 5,100 actual hours. So that is equal to what? 140 favorable. So the answer will become 140 favorable. So using both equation, I hope you understood that how to calculate. Then labor yield variance. In labor yield variance, in material yield variance, what was the equation? Here instead of SH, standard quantity minus revised standard quantity into standard price. Instead of quantity, here hours. Instead of price, it is rate. That's all. Here actual output minus standard output into standard price. Instead of standard price, it is standard rate. Here standard quantity minus actual quantity into weighted average standard price of standard mix. That standard price becoming standard rate, standard quantity and actual quantity becoming standard hours and actual hours. That's all. That is the only changes in here. So there also, here also equation is same. So you only need to study material yield variance equations. You got it? So let's do a question. The same question. In this question, material yield variance is there. So first one, L by B is equal to SH minus RSH into SR. What is SH? Standard hours. What is a standard hours? This hours is given for 10 output. That I have to convert it to 100 output. Then only I will get to standard hours, right? Okay. What is revised standard hours? Revised standard hours means the total is 5,100. That I have to convert it to 2 by 5, 3 by 5 for these peoples. So first one, RSH1 for this grade 1, 5,100 into 3 by 5 is equal to 3060. This is we already calculated in the mix variance. Then RSH2 is equal to 5,100 into 2 by 5, 2040. The next, what is standard hour? Standard hour means this 300 hours is for 10 outputs. Then you have to convert it to 100 units. Then here this 200 hours for 10 outputs, that I have to convert it to 100 units. This is nothing but standard hours, right? So LMV of first one, 300 divided by this 10, then multiplied with the total actual output 100, that minus this RSH of 1, 3016 into standard rate. What is the standard rate? $2 into $2, that is equal to 120 unfavorable. Next, LMV of 2, not LMV, LYV. This is LYV. This is also LYV. Printing mistake is there, typing mistake. Okay. So LYV of 2, standard hours. What is the standard hours? 200 divided by this total standard output 10, then we will get one output standard hours into total actual output 100. This is my standard hours, right? So 200 by 10 into 100 minus, what is my, next is RSH, right? So RSH I am having 2040, then standard rate is required, that is $3, that is equal to 120 unfavorable. So totally 120 plus 120, that is 240 unfavorable, that is my LYV, yield variance, labor yield variance. Okay, so this is the first equation. Second equation, if it is actual output minus standard output into SR, standard rate means what is my actual output? Actual output is 100 units. Actually I got 100 units. Okay, what is my standard output? For making 10 outputs, I required 300 plus 200, 500 hours. So for 10 outputs, so for one output of 5 hour for one output. So here I am taking 5100 hours. So 5100 hours, if I divide by 5, not 5, 50, okay, 50, 500 hours, if I divide with 10, 50 hours, right? So if I divide by 15, I will get 102 output. So I should get 102 output, but I got only 100 output. You got it? So that's my standard output is equal to 102. So what is my actual output? 100. What is my standard output? 102. What is my standard rate? Standard rate for one output. One output means here 13 hours is required. Here 20 hours is also required for one output. So $2 into 13 hours plus $3 into 20 hours is equal to $120 for one output. So that is equal to $120, that is equal to 240 unfavorable. So here also we are getting 240 unfavorable. Next, third equation, SH minus AH into WSR or weighted average standard rate of standard mix. What is standard hour? That's already we calculated. Actual hour we know we have to calculate weighted average standard rate of standard mix. What is the standard rate of this? What is the standard mix of this? So we can calculate the weighted average, right? So 300 into 2, 300 into 2, 600. 200 into 3, 200 into 3, 600. So totally 1200. Here total hour 500. So weighted average 1200 by 500, that is 2.4. So what is the standard hour? Standard hour means total I am having 500. Right, that for 10 hours. Here totally 100 hours. So 500 divided by 10 into 100 minus, what is my total actual hour? 5100 into, what is my weighted average? That is 2.4, that is 2.4. So that is 240 unfavorable. You got it? So everywhere we got 240 unfavorable. So these are the equations for LYV, labor yield variance. Before that, here LYV is 240 unfavorable. Okay, just keep in mind LYV is 240 unfavorable and LMV mix variance 140 favorable. LYV is equal to 240 unfavorable. So if you are adding this 240, it is a minus plus, that is 140, that is equal to 440, 40 is gone 100. 100 unfavorable you will get. 100 unfavorable. That is our labor efficiency variance. Let's see what is our labor efficiency variance. What is a labor efficiency variance? See, labor efficiency variance is equal to 100 unfavorable. We got it right. I said it right. So through that also you can calculate labor efficiency variance. Okay, so this is all about labor cost variances. It's the same like material variance. So if you have already understood what is a material variance means, you can easily calculate labor cost variance, because there is no differences in the equation. Only we have to change that quantity to hour and price to rate. That's all. Got it? So see you on next video. That manufacturing overhead efficiency on the spending and everything. Manufacturing overhead variance video. We will see on that video. Bye bye.